Good morning, guys. Okay, so I am in my office. I am sans makeup because it is still pretty early, but I am here to show you how to remove and embroider on, or I say remove, but how to remove the screws and embroider on a fold out chair like this one. Let me lift it up for us. This is the chair that I will be working on. It is an Ozark Trail outdoor equipment style chair. I'm going to spread it out and then I'll show you. Okay, here is what we will be doing. Okay, and we're going to put the name right up here on the band, but on the back side there are screws, so we're going to take those screws out and whoa. So I'm going to show you how to remove the screws. Some chairs do not have screws and it's a little bit more complicated than just, you know, getting it on your machine, and it does have metal in there, so be very careful. The other option is to use vinyl. Okay. All right, well, let me get started. I'll see you guys in just a second.
Can I play?
There's one. Put it in there.
Can I look?
Okay. Put the screws somewhere where they are not going to get lost. Ooh, look at that belly. Ooh. It's going to be in all the shots nowadays. Okay. And that will make it so much easier to monogram across the band. Now, it does already have an existing label on there, but I got permission from the customer to just monogram all over it. Right over it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, inside here is a little, like a little cap to this thing, like that. But as long as it's inside, it'll be fine. All right, let's get embroidering. Okay, the next step after you get it removed from the backing, you are going to take measurements. Now, it really doesn't matter how wide my band is where I'm going to monogram, but the height does. So I'm going to, this measures about 3.5 or 90 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make my name that I'm going to embroider on here between 75 millimeters and 80 millimeters. I think that'll be a good medium ground. The next step, once we get that done, is to fold it in half. And you're going to want a good crease on there. Make sure that it really is a true center. And you may have to fight with it for a few minutes, depending on how easy it is to fold it in half and find the center. The best advice I can give you is just make sure that the top is lined up all the way around and then the corners match. Okay? Then I'm going to be using my Snowman Placement guide. I'm going to put my measurement on here. Let's see if I can zoom in at all. I don't know if I can. Okay, it's not going to be very clear. Okay, so to find the half of 75, sometimes I just fold my piece in half, or because it's 90, I will actually go all the way to the 9 centimeter mark, which is 90 millimeters, and then place my Now I hang it over the edge just a little bit because there is foam in here. And that way it will wrap around later. Just trying to get my placement mark centered up. Okay, now once that's on there, I open it up, I examine it, and then before I actually press that down, I can take a guide, and I take any random guide, it doesn't really matter. Put it in the center, line one of the grid lines, line one of these grid lines up with the seams in the middle, the inside of the marker to make sure I'm off. And I'm a little slanted, so I'm going to come down here. A little bit more adjustment, and boom. Okay, the next step is to prepare our fast frames, and then you guys already know how to prepare fast frame because of several videos I've done. So I'm actually going to show you putting it onto my machine and holding the chair, because you have to be really careful so none of the metal ends up hitting your embroidery machine. So I will be right back with that. Okay, I am going to be changing out one of my needles to this leather. I'm so sorry about my nails. Sorry guys. Leather needles, and the reason why I'm using a leather needle is because I want as small of holes as I can get, minimum punctures to the foam and to this plastic type of fabric that's on the chairs, and these will give me that result. So this is a really special quality needle, and I have just finished filming a video on the 7 most popular embroidery needles and sewing needles on the market. So be sure to check that video out, but I am going to be using the Schmidt's leather needles. Okay, so we'll get one of those out and change my needle. Alright, so after I change out my needle, I'm using one of my kitchen chairs that doesn't roll to hold up this lawn chair, and using the bracket to hold the fast frame in place. Next, I find the center mark using my Snowman positioner, utilizing the tack down stitch. I do have a video on the importance of a tack down stitch. You can check that video out if you would like. But it kind of just holds everything together and holds it down. So I was having trouble with the bouncing of the fast frame, so I used a fabric covered magnet to hold the very end down, and then I didn't have any more trouble after that. So this font right here is called Sail Away, and you can get it for free at defont.com. That's actually where I get most of my fonts, so you can check them out if you can use the TrueType fonts on your embroidery machine. Otherwise, I'm sorry, you'll have to buy it as a pre-made embroidery design or font. So this goes really quick. It's stitched out beautifully. I'm using silver thread on this dark green, forest green chair, and I think it turned out really well. Now the whole time this is embroidering, I am holding it and helping kind of guide the other part of the chair with the embroidery machine. So I don't want to leave it by itself because the vibrations will actually cause it to fall. Okay guys, I'm using my 3-year-old to help me with the camera. So real fast, here is how I have, quit moving it.
TT.
Okay, we'll go TT. Oh, she's stuck.
Do it.
Okay, here is how I had to set my chair up on my embroidery machine. So I've unscrewed it from the side, from the back. I have it on my fast frame in here. I have a magnetic clamp on it to kind of keep the bouncing down. And then I have the chair actually sitting on a chair. And I just hold it and I kind of move the chair back and forth as it goes through the letters. But that is basically it. And guys, it turned out amazing. Let's go to the table and let me show you. I chose not to trim jump stitches during the embroidery time because there were so many little spots. Like I did a test run earlier and it would like do it 10 stitches here and then stop and then cut the thread and then do stitches down here and then cut the thread, and then I just did not want to even bother with that. So I decided to cut jump stitches myself, and it saved me about 6 minutes because there were, the run time for this was 17 minutes at, let me look, 700 stitches a minute. Caitlin, get down.
I'm going to sleep.
No, that's not our chair. And so I eliminated that, and then it reduced the stitch time down from 17 minutes down to 11 minutes. Okay, just removing the tack down stitch. The tack down stitch to me is a really important part of this because for two reasons. I'm using a fast frame, and as I've said before on my fast frame videos, the machine does not register them. So I have to make sure that my design is within the fast frame. And I'm sorry about this bar. I know it's like right in the way. There we go. But using a tack down stitch will help eliminate problems like that. Okay, and then the second reason why I use a tack down stitch is because I am embroidering on a really thick multi-layer fabric, and it's just easier to not have it bouncing up and stuff, and knowing for sure that it is in a secure spot. Okay, so I am going in, just removing any of that sticky back stabilizer. If there is still more stabilizer remaining on the back, I can take a damp washcloth like this spot over here, take a damp washcloth, and it will wipe away without any problem. Or I could just pick it out like that. Okay, so here is what it looks like all finished. I will put the chair back together and show you what it all looks like completed. Guys, this looks so good. I'm so proud. These are great gifts, especially for like soccer moms and baseball moms. Okay, so great gifts. That looks good. Barry, I think you're going to like this. Alright guys, I'll see you in just a second with it all put together. I'm going to put those screws in and get it set up.